I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, as you guys know, I've done many blogs here on the kind of the two worlds of condos. And when I'm representing buyers, a lot of the times I've got, a couple dozen stratas that I really like that I'm continuing to sell into. And then I've probably got another couple dozen that are still quite good. And then, of course, there's a bottom half that are, less than favorable. The odd time I'm still representing buyers on these if we can get it at the right price with the right circumstance. But, and it's the same thing with detached homes. There's incredible detached homes that have got everything going for them, fantastic locations, great homes. And then there's ones that are, let's call them less desirable. I don't want to use dogs, but they're on busy streets. Maybe they've got a feng shui issue. Maybe the house needs a reno and it needs a lot of work. But, I have people that have commented a few times here and said, well, Owen, you're a listing realtor. You sell a lot of homes. You talk about going after the grade A and the high quality units. But, you must, the units and homes you sell, they can't all be grade A. You must be selling some of these less than desirable, or as he put it, dog homes all the time. And yes, I am. I sell, homes that are far from what I would consider to be grade A. So let me explain, how the world of real estate works, fiduciary duty, working with a realtor, and both the buying and the selling side. So people, I think you guys are aware, there's an old saying when I started in real estate with my father many, many years ago. There's an old saying in real estate, you list to last. So I have always concentrated more on the listing side as opposed to the buying side. However, I work with a lot of buyers and I'm a bit of a chameleon. I kind of shift my work as the market goes. So for the most part, I would say 70% of my business is on the listing side. I'm a listing and marketing specialist, and that's what I've built my business on. I'm a salesman. And I've got a detailed marketing program, photos, floor plans, how I sell my homes, exposure, all that good stuff I've built up over the years. 30% is on the buying side. Now, I shift that a little bit. When we're in a seller's market, strong seller's market, which we are right now, I probably shift even a little bit more. I go up as high as 80 or 85%, and it depends on how many listings I have. Sometimes I've got as many as 6, 7, 8 listings, and I've got a whole bunch more in the queue. Then I'm not able to work with a whole lot of buyers at that time. When we get into more of a buyer's market where there's lots of inventory, homes are sitting a little bit more, then I shift a little bit more. I represent more buyers. I might shift to as much as a 50-50 split there. 50% on the listing and 50% on the buying side. So I move it back and forth. But back to the question this guy had. Yes, absolutely. I am selling units that are a lot of times are challenging. It's what makes my job interesting, and it's really what gets me up early in the morning. It would be, I sell a lot of incredible homes, fantastic condos, beautiful brand new homes on the east side, on the west side, in Richmond, that have everything going for them. They're a pleasure to show and a pleasure to sell. They're an easier sell for sure. But I also sell a lot of detached homes, a lot of townhomes, a lot of condos that are not all that favorable. Now, what I would tell you as a listing realtor, no matter what the home is, there are always some pros and some cons to the home. Even the best home, I tell people a $3 or $4 million condo is still not going to be perfect in every way. There's going to be little things that you wish were better. Maybe the laundry room was a little bit bigger. Maybe the master bedroom you wish was a bit larger, or the balcony. There's never a perfect house. But even with the, let's say, less than desirable homes, my job as a listing and marketing specialist is to upplay or accentuate the positives and downplay the negatives. So if it's on a busy street, for instance, hey, I'm going to play up more of the layout of the house, the backyard, the location to transit or whatever, and downplay a little bit more of the street noise. That's what my seller is paying me for. And that's the thing here. When I am listing a home, I am entering into a agency relationship with the seller. And what that means is I've got fiduciary duty. I am working for them. And fiduciary duty is the highest standard of care. It means that I have to act in their best interest at all times. They're paying me to get the maximum selling price for their home, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to accentuate the positives with the house and downplay any negatives. Now, when you're coming in and looking at the home, you're going to have your own realtor, your buying realtor, which you've signed a contract with. We used to call it working with a realtor. They're going to give you agency. They're going to give you, Mr. Buyer, fiduciary duty. And that's how real estate works. I'm working for the seller, and your realtor is working for you. It's a give and take there. But there's a buyer for everything. As one of my early mentors in Vancouver real estate used to tell me, no matter what the home, there's a buyer for every home. Otherwise, we would never have homes on Knight Street. And I have sold homes on Knight Street. I've sold homes on Main Street. I just had a sale on Broadway. I've sold homes on Westminster Highway, Steveston Highway. There is a buyer for everything. You're hiring me, though, to accentuate all the positive aspects of the house. For instance, on a busy street, one of the things that I would use on a busy street, I just had a house I sold not long ago on Nanaimo Street. Busy street. But yes, there is going to be a lot of traffic, although I would say, in the evening hours, especially on this one I just sold not too long ago on Nanaimo Street, hey, after 9 or 10 o'clock, it slows down. Hey, you're close to SkyTrain, walking distance to SkyTrain. But the other positives with being on a busier thoroughfare is you've got some opportunity down the road for land assemblies, for development. And that's something that I would play up. That's what I just had a house I sold on Broadway. Many of these homes, that might be something that you accentuate. And it's a real benefit to these homes. You're going to have to put up with a little bit of traffic, but your exit strategy on these homes, your white knight, is going to be a developer who's going to come along, and they're going to build a 3 or 4, they're going to buy your home and every other home on your block and go from a single family detached home to a 4 or 5 story wood frame condo. And you're going to get a nice payday with that. It's not guaranteed, and a lot of times it might be 10 or 15 years down the road, but you sell the sizzle. That's what you're paying me for. Your realtor, who's representing you on the buying side, is going to try and negotiate the best possible price. I'm trying to get the best price. Your buying realtor is trying to get the lowest price, and that's where we're going to meet in between. So that's how real estate works. And yes, I sell everything. As a matter of fact, I love. It really is the interesting part in my work. I enjoy selling what I might call challenging properties, because you've got to get creative. You've got to come up with things that are going to accentuate the property. They're going to be on the positive, and there always are. Especially these homes on busy thoroughfares. The biggest advantage to those down the road is probably land assembly and development potential. I'm always pretty conservative when I sell those homes. I say, hey, listen, this could be 10, 15 years down the road, but it's there, maybe sooner. But there's always good things with no matter what the house or what the condo is. And there's a buyer for everything. That's what makes the job challenging. The final thing I'll tell you here is, since COVID has come on, I have had, I can't remember when I've ever had as many calls from the general public on a listing. In other words, they'll call me and say, I saw your sign on that house. I was driving by, or I'm on realtor.ca and I'd like to set up a showing with your condo you've got listed. You need to get a realtor. The first question I'm going to ask you is, do you have a realtor? And most of the time they'll say, no, I don't. Well, it is extremely difficult for me to work with you right now, and I don't really want to. You need to get your own realtor, because as I just explained here, I've got fiduciary duty to the seller. I'm working for them. I don't owe you anything. And if you really wanted to put an offer on this home, they've changed the rules with what we used to call double ending. We used to call it a customer relationship. Now we call it an unrepresented party. And if you wanted to do that, there is a whole bunch of forms I've got to give you that's basically warning you to talk to a lawyer. Do not deal with this realtor, because he's representing the seller, not you. So you need to get a realtor, and you should have a realtor, because the realtor is going to screen these properties for you. He's going to give you a market evaluation on where these are priced. He's going to give you pricing history, and he's going to book the showings, especially now. Public opens are not happening. You've got to book private showings. And, the only time that I will deal with an unrepresented party is when I'm selling a tear-down house generally now. I used to do it a lot more. But now that the rules have changed, the board doesn't want us doing it. My brokerage, really doesn't want us working with unrepresented parties. There's way too much risk for me and my sellers to do it. It's just not worth it anymore. The only exception I'll make is when I'm selling older homes that are more than likely tear down. I just had a house in Wally, detached home I sold. The majority of the buyers on this were Indo-Canadian builders that do not have a realtor, and they don't want to work with a realtor. They want me to write the offer for them because they know that, hey, without having to split the commission, chances are, which I am, I'm going to give my seller a break on the commission because I don't have to pay the cooperating commission. And these buyers, most of which are builders, are savvy, experienced buyers. They know the forms that they're going to have to sign. They know what an unrepresented party is. They're comfortable with it. They're experienced because they're buying the house to tear down and build anyways. They're buying the dirt. But I've had a huge surge in the number of people that are calling me looking for showings without a realtor. You got to get a realtor. I don't want to really work with you. If push comes to shove, sure, I will show you the property. But I will not represent you. You're going to eventually need to get a realtor to write an offer for you, and you want to. You want to have fiduciary duty on working for you. I'm working for the seller. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.